Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be reviewing the movie After School, currently showing on Ruth Kadiri 247 channel. The movie includes fast rising talented actors ANNABEL, APARA, STANLEY, and even KELVIN, EZIKE, who just made his debut with the movie. The movie is one you will definitely love, and I'll be giving a very detailed review about it. Before we start, please make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell to always get more movie reviews and recommendations from us. Thank you. Alex attended a very prestigious school where he always comes first in his class. He was always the top of his class and was always active in all class activities and teachings. He could answer all questions asked in class even before the teacher talked about it. Joan also attends same school as Alex and has had the longest crush on Alex for the longest time, even though Alex never really noticed her. Joan felt frustrated at home because she was constantly being compared to Mirabel, which they call Mimi, the housemaid daughter, about how she cannot be like Mimi and emulate her, which made Joan hated her so much. Mimi was a beautiful, intelligent, smart girl who always comes top in her class and wins numerous awards. She made everyone around her proud, including her mom, who is the housemaid of Joan's parents. Joan's parents were happy with Mimi's performance and always encouraged her. Mimi came home from school one day to show her mother and Joan's mother the award she had just won, which made them so proud of her. When Joan walked in and her mother showed her the award that Mimi had just won and how she was doing great in school, Joan walked out of them and came up to her room where she wallowed in her singing. Joan's frustration grew when her mother walked up to her one morning while having breakfast and told her to eat less food instead of the quantity she was always having, so she won't get fat and look like Mimi, who is slim and beautiful. On another day, Mimi came home from school to tell her mother that she won't be able to write her WAEC in her school because her school was a new school and the board had not met the expected requirements. Her mother worried and asked what they were going to do about the issue, and Mimi said she doesn't mind being a high school dropout if her school was not writing it, which made her mother rejected it immediately. Joan's mom walked in on them having the conversation and told them not to worry, that she would see what to do about it. Joan continued to unleash her frustration on Mimi and being so mean to her, insulting her at every opportunity she gets, throwing her bag at her after school, and telling her to do her laundry in a very rude manner. Joan's father called Mimi and her mother to tell them that he had a solution for Mimi to write her WAEC without any disturb, that she would be attending his daughter's school to write her WAEC. They were happy and appreciated him for his generous help. Joan's father broke the news at the table while they were eating of Mimi going to Joan's school to enable her write her exams, and Joan could not believe what she just heard. She asked why Mimi was coming to her school instead of any local school if she must write her exams. But her father made it clear that Mimi will be coming to her school and that is final. Joan walked out of the table to her room out of anger, and Joan's mom pleaded with Mimi to take her food up to her. She took the food up to her and met a very furious Joan that warned her sternly, insulting her to stay away from her and act as if they don't know each other at school because she can never be associated with a maid's daughter. Mimi burst into tears at her situation and went into the kitchen to cry. When her mom saw her, she tried to hide the fact that she was crying but couldn't. Her mother consoled her in tears and told her everything would be fine, as things will not always be like this. Mimi got ready for school the next day excited about her new school, and Joan's mom told her to always be the good girl that she is and keep up the good grades. She told Mimi to go to school with Joan, but in order to avoid any trouble, Mimi's mother declined and said Mimi would find her way to school. Mimi got to school, got introduced to the class, and met a girl, Jade, and they became friends. Jade was known to all as a scar girl because she has a scar on her face, and most people avoided her. Mimi and Jade saw Joan and her colleague while chatting and walking down, and Joan mocked them for making a perfect friend match, the scar girl and the ugly girl. Jade spoke up to her that it wasn't true, that Mimi was a beautiful girl, even more beautiful than Joan. That's why she's angry and making fun of her. Joan immediately countered and asked her who she was talking to like that and warned her never to talk to her in that manner again. In class activities, Mimi seems to be overshadowing Alex in class discussions and responding to questions. which surprised everyone including Alex because nobody but Alex responded to class questions that she had to ask Jade why everyone was looking at her in a very weird manner. Joan came to the kitchen when Mimi was minding her chores and poured a drink on her out of anger and resentment that she attends at school. Joan's mom walked in and asked what happened, but Joan said she did it by mistake, which Mimi agreed to after getting a bad eye from Joan. Alex and Mimi became the top active students in the class and they applauded each other each time they responded to a question and became friends, which led to Alex asking why she was just joining them at this time of the section, and Mimi went ahead to tell him why she had to leave her old school to come here. They got the class task to group in twos, and Joan immediately thought of Alex and went to him to be his partner, but Alex said he had already got a partner. He stood up and went to Mimi and asked her if it's okay for him to be his partner, which Mimi agreed. Joan felt so angry about what just happened and went to Mimi, slapped her and told her to stay away from Alex. Mimi went back to the class and Alex asked what happened to her face, but she said nothing angrily and told him to leave her alone, and she said she wasn't going to be his partner anymore, which got Alex confused because they were cool a while ago. He followed her out and asked what the problem was, but she said the same thing and told him to leave her alone. He came to her again when she was in the library, but he insisted this time that he was staying and not leaving, even though she told him to leave. They made up and was cool again, but unknowing to them, Joan took pictures of them in the library. Joan went to their gate man and gave him an assignment. Around 9 p.m. that evening, they were all worried in the house because Mimi was yet to be back from school. They wondered where she might be, and Joan said they shouldn't worry about her, that she's probably with one of her numerous boyfriends. Joan's parents were shocked at the information their daughter just gave them, but Mimi's mother said it wasn't true, that she knows her daughter and she wouldn't do something like that. Joan went ahead and showed them the picture she took of them, and Joan's parents was surprised at what they just saw, but Mimi's mother insisted and she told them that she believed their daughter. Mimi walked in just then and Joan's parents questioned her where she has been. They didn't let her respond and told her that such behavior of following boys will not be tolerated in their house because she doesn't want her to influence her daughter Joan, and told her not to allow it to repeat itself again. Mimi cried, not knowing what to say, and told her mother that she had been locked up in a class that she was, which was definitely Joan's doing, and Joan went back to her room feeling accomplished to what she has just done, saying the only thing left is for her to kick Joan out of the house. It was Valentine's Day. Joan bought a gift for Alex, gave it to him and expected the flower he brought to be hers, but Alex gave the flowers to Mimi. Mimi refused the flower out of fear and Alex dropped the flower and the gift that Joan gave him on Mimi's table. Joan was so angry that she went to the bathroom to vent out of anger, but also heard Jade's voice in the bathroom crying and complaining why what she wanted Mimi was having it so easily, why Alex was always following Mimi and not her, and why she was so beautiful. Meanwhile, Joan was making recordings of all what Jade was saying and knocked on the door for her to come out so she can make a video or take a picture of her. Jade came out not knowing Jade was the one knocking and was shocked when she saw her taking pictures. Jade mocked her for being a fake friend to Mimi and blackmailed her with the recording, threatening to show it to Mimi if she doesn't help her destroy Mimi, since she was both their enemies and was following their crush. But Jade refused, that she wasn't going to hurt Mimi and that she didn't mean any of what she said, that she was only being frustrated. Joan came to Jade in the stairway and told her to push Mimi so she could fall, but Jade refused and left, and Joan went ahead to push Mimi and she fell into the stairways. Alex heard what happened and came to assist Mimi with Jade, and he helped her to the classroom. Joan was having a terrible cramps according to her and could not go to school one day. Mimi was getting ready for school when Joan's mom noticed the injury on her knee and asked Mimi. Jade was on the phone with Mimi saying she wanted to tell her something when she heard Mimi scream from the phone. She suspected that Mimi had been kidnapped. Alex came to her then to ask about Mimi because he hadn't seen her all day, but she ignored him and left. It was around 9 p.m. again that evening and Mimi had not come back. Joan's parents were mad at the situation and said they could not take this behavior of Mimi any longer because they can't have her influence their daughter in a bad way. They told them to pack up and leave first thing in the morning as they don't want them around anymore. Mimi's mother begged and begged, but they made up their mind already, which made Joan very happy, and Mimi's mother went outside crying, waiting for her daughter to come back. The next day, Jade came to the principal to report what happened the previous day and how she suspected that Mimi had been kidnapped. They invited Mimi's mom and Joan's parents about the issue and also brought the attention of the police officer. Alex went to Mimi's mom to console her, assuring her that Mimi will be found and will make sure of that. Jade went to confront Joan if she had anything to do with the problem at hand because she was always being mean to Mimi. Joan got angry and slapped her, which led to a fight. Jade then went straight to the principal's office and reported that she suspected Joan for the kidnap because she always wanted to hurt Mimi. They invited Joan and Joan denied it, saying if anybody had the intention to hurt Mimi, it could be Jade and not her, and then went ahead to show them the recording. They turned to Jade and asked why she said what she said in the recording, and she said she didn't mean any of those things, that she was just frustrated. While the detective was still listening to the recording on Joan's phone, a message popped up on the phone from the gateman which she had assigned to kidnap Mimi. The detective kept cool, gave her back her phone and continued questioning Jade. Meanwhile, Alex went to his mom to plead with her to help find Mimi in any way she can. Alex was surprised that her son was missing classes because of someone and promised to help if he goes back to classes. Joan's phone kept ringing, but she kept ignoring it. They urged her to pick the call, but she said it was fine and she would call the person back later. The detective then asked for both of their phones, which Jade gave hers, but Joan refused, saying it was her personal belongings. The detective dragged the phone from her, picked the number that has been calling, and to their surprise, it was the gateman talking about the kidnap. She immediately started apologizing and crying that she was sorry. The detective immediately went to the location with Alex to rescue Mimi and took her to the hospital. Joan's parents was invited to hear what their daughter had done, and they were surprised, asking her why she would do something like that, but she immediately shut her mother out, saying that it was all her fault because she was always making her feel like nothing, comparing her to Mimi all the time. The detective came in then and arrested Joan. She pleaded for her parents to help her, but her mother cared less if they arrested her or not. Alex went to see Mimi in the hospital and Jade came to ask for forgiveness. Mimi forgave her, saying she didn't know where she could have been if Jade hadn't spoken up. Mimi and her mother were grateful to Alex and his mom, and Alex's mom said because of Mimi's excellent performance in school, she got her a scholarship to study to any level of education she wanted. They were so grateful and thanked her for helping them. Mimi and her mother also went to apologize to Joan's mother for everything that happened and thanked her for helping them, and Joan's mother also apologized to them, especially Mimi. Alex and Mimi came back to school and was welcomed warmly by all. Their friendship became solid and strong, and they did almost everything together in school. They wrote their exams successfully and gained admission into the same university. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching it. Make sure to comment if you have any questions or thoughts on the movie review. Also, do well to subscribe, like and share to get more movie recommendations and review from us. Bye.